Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sim's YouTube channel, and welcome back to Pine Cove Farm. Let's see, what episode is this? Let me just check my trusty little spreadsheet here. This looks like this is going to be Pine Cove Farm episode number 13. And I'm basically picking up almost right on the heels of where I left off with episode number 12. Where we were essentially doing the corn cutting for the biogas facility. And I was looking at basically, I was looking at our growth map, our growth chart, which I'll just quickly pull up here so that you can kind of see what I saw. And I'm looking at how our fields are progressing. I'm over here on the growth chart, and I'm looking at all of these fields, and this is, and I'm still working on field number 9. I'm probably going to live stream the majority of the harvest of the rest of this field. But I happened to look down in the lower right hand corner to field number 1, and I saw that it was purple. I saw that half of 9 was purple. Now, obvious, or not quite half, but about a quarter of 9 was purple. That's expected. I've been harvesting the corn. Field number 1, that was our soybean field. It's showing as purple. So basically, I jumped in my pickup truck and I drove down here to take a look at it. And lo and behold, it's been harvested, but we didn't do it. I didn't do it. This was soybeans. Soybeans were planted on day 4. This was the very last thing that we actually put in the ground was soybeans. We did that on game day 4, which was the first day of summer, and we are in essentially the last day of summer. Who harvested those soybeans and where did they go? Because we certainly did not do that. I did not do that on this map. So I'm guessing Seasons Mod. Somehow or another, something occurred with Seasons Mod, and it's too late to do anything about it. Meaning that my game saves, I keep those in advance, and I'm pretty good about, just going to park the pickup right over here. I'm pretty good about keeping sort of a rolling backup, but I don't know, at what point in time did that field get harvested? Who, and again, I say, who harvested? I mean, we own the field. So I just don't know what's going on. Soybeans are I call them a sensitive crop, meaning that you have to, when you plant soybeans, the soil conditions, the outside air conditions, all of those things have to be optimum for you, or basically you will ruin that crop. That crop will die. You may recall in the early stages of me experimenting with the Seasons Mod on lawfolds, I had planted a soybean crop, and I think I did it once or twice before I kind of realized that, okay, soybeans is that one crop that's going to be sort of perhaps our Waterloo. It's going to be the one thing that we're going to have to really be cautious over. And quite honestly, I would have expected, had we planted it in the wrong season, I would have expected that it would have withered or died. But to see that it's been harvested, weird. I wonder, now we own the field, and I will show you, I'll bring this up, bring up the big map. Field number 1 is owned by us. I wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's some kind of glitch in the system that thinks that we don't own it, and maybe, just maybe, the game AI, harvested that field. I couldn't imagine that it would have been ready. I can't remember when. Let's see, what are we going to get out of here? This is going to kind of be just a. This is going to kind of be just a episode where we do multiple different things. I will just go ahead and apologize in advance. What I want to do is I want to live stream the rest of doing the harvest off the corn field, and but I'm just not ready to live stream yet. I want to do this, and then live stream later this morning. So it's, by the way, it's Sunday morning, the 26th of March, and so we're just going to do a few odd things, and I'm just going to chat with you just a little bit, and then I'll do the live stream. But I need to get this done because I need to get my episodes recorded, my gameplay episodes recorded that I'm planning to essentially release later in the week. So you guys will actually see this episode. Let's see, when will you see this episode? Thursday, I believe. So because of my travel schedule, because of my work project schedule as well, I am finding that I don't have as much time during the week, the Monday through Friday time frame, to record episodes. So the reason why I've dropped down to 5 episodes per week, Monday through Friday, and dropping the Saturday episode of gameplay is because of that. So I'm basically, the last couple of weeks I've been able to record 2 episodes on Saturday, 2 episodes on Sunday. That gets me my Monday through Thursday, and generally I manage to get one episode recorded during the work week. Usually on Wednesday nights, a little bit slower for me by the time I get home from work, and there's less things going on, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just kind of see how things go. As long as I'm traveling, and I will be. So you guys are seeing this on Thursday. The weekend, as you're watching this and hearing my voice, the weekend ahead, which is pretty much coming up on the end of March, 1st of April, I will be traveling back out to California. So what is going on here? Maybe we are out of fuel, and that is the deal. So let me hop out and see what I can see as I'm stuck here. Come on. Well, only 70%. It should take it. But he's out of fuel, so there we go. I was just a little bit too far back, I think. All right, so we'll dump this, and then we'll go and grab some of our free fuel. Actually, do we have any? Yeah, we have some compost. So instead of doing a bunch of unnecessary driving, we will spin around and grab some compost. So I know the last time we were together, I think I was talking about this in Lawfolds, the episode of Lawfolds that I did, the cultivating of the oilseed radish. I talked about the fact that I had not really heard anything on the cattle and crops front, which is still kind of the case. However, I did go out and I looked at the cattle and crops forums, and I sort of wish I hadn't now. And I know I talked about this many episodes ago, about how that we got, those of us that are participating in the crowdfunding process of cattle and crops were invited to have early access to the forums, if you will. So they set up a user forum, obviously to support the game, Cattle and Crops, and so they sent an email to all of the crowdfunders, the early access folks, and gave us basically announced that we would be getting early access to their forums, and that all we had to do was click a link and get started and all this kind of stuff. Well, did all that. That all, for me, that worked just as advertised. I know some people had some issues getting their forum accounts set up and such, but I didn't have any problems. And so let's see. Let's stop here and let me set up for a. We'll do that. So I didn't have any problems getting my forum account set up, and some folks did, I understand, but I went out there, and after I set up my forum account, and as you can see, I'm still sort of in the process of getting our chaff smoothed out and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just drop this trailer here and then come back down and pick it up in a moment. And so, but I talked about this. I talked about the fact that all the, people that were wishing for, this to be available and this to be available and this process and will this mod be made for Cattle and Crops and all of that. And that was all, that was all before they essentially announced that that Cattle and Crops would be delayed a period of time. Oops. Let's see, are we still filling? Or maybe we're out. Well, let's see what we're doing here. Yep, I guess we are out of biofuel. I guess the biofuel works a little slower than some of the other stuff. Either that or we have just really neglected moving the digestate and stuff around, and that's probably the bigger answer right there, is that I've just been a bit relaxed on getting down here and moving that digestate around, but we'll do that. So essentially, a couple of weeks ago, as we all first gained access into the Cattle and Crops forum, all these things were taking place that I just described. People asking for functionality and stuff, instead of waiting until the base game comes out and see what is, what the base game holds and all that good stuff. Everybody's just kind of, making their demands and what have you. So anyway, I got a bit discouraged. Well, not really discouraged, but just a little frustrated because, again, some of these people just, can't just be sort of happy with how things are going to be and just kind of leave it at that. And so I went out there last night. That was Saturday, the 25th of March for those of you. There's a gold nugget on top of the facility there. And went out there and was reading through the forums because I thought, okay, well, let me see if there's been anything sort of officially released from the Cattle and Crops team that would sort of help in understanding of when we could expect this to occur. And by the way, I restarted the game, and that wool message is still firing even though there's no wool over there. So that's obviously something is a bit buggered up with something or another, and I don't know why, but we'll figure it all out, I guess. But anyway, went out to Cattle and Crops forum. Sorry, I'll tell this story eventually. And essentially, wanted to research to see if there was any news about the early access, the early release, the preview access, whatever you want to call it. And there's really nothing officially. There's really nothing officially from the Cattle and Crops team, but there is some. There's a lot of positive comments, and there's a lot of negative stuff out there as well. There's a lot of I really want to be able to test this, and why, please provide us frequent updates on all this kind of stuff. Well, as I've said before, I'm perfectly okay with them releasing it when they release it. But one little nugget that I saw out there, which doesn't really tell us anything, but I agree with what this individual said, was that most likely the delay that was put in place by the Cattle and Crops development team included through the end of March. So in other words, the time that they bought themselves was through the end of March. So we're I don't know if that means that sometime in April we'll see it, but I think there was a lot of people that thought, okay, well, looking at the calendar, let's say mid-March, early March was kind of when they came out with that statement, or maybe it was even February. I think it was late February when they came out and said that there would be a delay. And so anyway, I think hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll come out sometime in April. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have some kind of official communication from them, maybe around the 1st of April timeframe. Of course, April 1st is April Fool's Day, so hopefully they don't mess about with us in that regards. But it being a brand new month, end of a month, I would suspect that, especially since their original target date was, sometime March 2017, I would suspect that at the end of the month or early April or something like that, we would get some kind of communication that would say, this is how, these are the expectations, and we would have that available. So we'll just have to see. I mean, it's as I've said before, and I can't say it any other way other than just how I say it. But if it'll be ready when it's ready, and if it takes another month, then so be it. It'll take another month. You can't rush things. For those of you who are, old enough to remember, wasn't there like a commercial or something, a wine commercial that will sell no wine before it's time or something like that? I can't remember who, what wine company that was, but that's pretty good. That's a pretty good way of looking at it, is that the game will be ready when it's ready. Now, of course, I think everyone kind of knows that early access means that there could be some challenges, there could be some bugs. That's just kind of the nature of an early access type situation, and it's probably this is probably no different in this game, meaning that most likely there will be some bugs that will be maybe even be known. So even the development team may even know of these bugs, or we the early access folks that will be playing it will obviously find and report the bugs. So it's not going to be perfect, and it's also not going to be. I think there's a lot of misconception out there as well that it's going to be basically everything about the game will be available in the early access version, and that's not true. We already know that it's going to be somewhat of a scaled down replica or version of what we would expect to see in the fall. So yeah, so there you go. So I've pretty much managed to ramble on about 20 minutes on cattle and crops, but that's all that we know. I mean, I think the team has not necessarily put updates out in the last couple of weeks because maybe they don't know. They don't have any information to really communicate. And I think that has driven some frustration with the community, is because cattle and crops have done an excellent job over the last, I would say, year in putting out on a regular type basis promotional information, gameplay videos, blog posts, and whatnot. And actually, I believe that drove Giants into doing somewhat of the same thing. If you remember, Giants really stepped up their marketing and their communication around I think the late summer time frame, early fall of last year, with regards to cattle and crops, or I'm sorry, with regards to Farm Sim 17. And I think that was because they were certainly watching what I believe they were watching what cattle and crops were doing, and basically seeing the interest and the enthusiasm and everything that went into that, and they were basically saying, okay, this is what we've got to do. So it's all good. It's all good. It'll come when it comes. And when it does come, you will see it on this channel. You will see, at least the initial. You'll see my initial first impressions of it, and I will most likely do it very similar to how I did with the train sim, the new train sim game, which I have not had time to even go back and play since I did the first view live stream. So I really need to do that. Try to figure out how I can kind of incorporate some of that into the channel, but it'll be a first look kind of thing. And yeah, so all right, so let's see, can we see that? No, can't see how much we have in there. Once we get into high gear with moving, especially harvesting, hopefully now I will admit I really am confused about that field, about what happened to the soybean crop on that field. I really am, because I have like I said, I have no idea what happened to it. I'm pretty sure it was, I mean, I'd have to go back and look through my episodes, but I'm pretty sure the last time I sort of spot checked where we were in our growth cycles and everything with all the fields, I've been kind of watching that. It was still there, and it hadn't been harvested yet. So just really crazy stuff. So let me see, how are we doing on silage? Hay is fine. I think I'll go ahead and take this down to the silo. I've been trying to keep that emptied and keep grass in it so that just in case we don't want to lose any of this stockpile of grass, I'd rather send the grass down to the compost facility than have it, than basically lose it in the silo. So we'll just have to kind of see how that works out for us. But I've been trying to keep it keep it going, because the thing about it is once we convert the grass into silage, then we don't run the risk of losing the silage. But you know, I don't know how the grass is going to behave in the silo. I would think that the grass that we've put in the silo might be fine, but it's possible that that it won't be. All right, so we're gonna head over here and get into our semi. We're gonna move some digested around just so that we can make sure that we keep the biodiesel running. I failed to really stay on top of that, and no excuse other than my own in failing to keep that moving around. I think I've mentioned several times the importance of you know, maintaining these kind of things that bring you somewhat free stuff. You know, whether it's, well, I mean, it's not free. Nothing in life is free, but that's a soapbox rant for probably another time, and definitely another YouTube channel. But you know, it doesn't cost us anything other than time to come down here and move the digestate from the digestate holding facility over to the processing facility where it produces the three elements. I think the liquid fertilizer, granular or dry fertilizer, and biodiesel. So it's kind of a, again, it's just sort of time. And but it's kind of like, you know, it's sort of like being a circus ringmaster, you know, a three-ring circus where you've got multiple things going on, and you know, the struggle of trying to make sure that we keep things fresh and entertaining for you all, and not repeating some of the same stuff over and over. And I you know, I think that one of the things that I had planned to do, especially if I would have been a little bit more successful at automating the corn chaffing process, was that, you know, we would possibly have one more episode from this game day, and then that would be it, and then we would be into early fall, where we'll have some harvest stuff to do. But it's going to take me a little while longer to get that corn off the field. I probably spent another, I don't know, probably spent another 30 minutes or so, or it's full. Maybe there's let me jump out and look at things here. Maybe something 50,000 liters. Well, my guess is it's because those things have maxed out, and so obviously we have stopped 50,000. All right, so I'm gonna have to what am I gonna have to do here? Liquid fertilizer. I can probably haul liquid fertilizer in this tanker, but most likely I don't know where I'm going to place this right now because it's full. So I tell you what, let me, I have an idea, and you're going to be seeing this anyway coming up in another episode, where I was actually going to spread liquid slurry on our cornfield, field number 9, that we're harvesting for chaff. So what I'll most likely do is just hold off on this right now, and as a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to drop this here, and turn that off, set our parking brake, and I'll walk up to field number 9 and get the pickup. But anyway, I think this is just a good place to stop this for now. I guess I had thought that maybe this was greater capacity, but that makes sense that once these fill up. So here you go, folks. Here's a lesson for you. If you're playing this map, 50,000 appears to be the max on the liquid fertilizer, and then maybe also 50,000 on the dry fertilizer, and so the system stops and unfortunately is not producing any more biofuel for us. So we're going to need to get a tipper down here and get this out, and also get our liquid fertilizer out as well. And we've only got one trailer right now that we can do that. So, but we're going to be spreading liquid slurry on the field, so we'll use what's in this tanker here for that, and maybe buy another tanker. Maybe we need to have a tanker down here for the liquid fertilizer stuff, and that way we don't run into this problem again. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in for another episode here on Pine Cove Farm, and I invite you to come back again next time, or visit my Lawfolds series where we are coming into springtime. We've just finished the winter on Lawfolds and coming into spring, so this is basically a season 2, if you will, for Lawfolds, and having a lot of fun. That's a great map. So is this one. So thanks for watching, and we will see you all back here or at Lawfolds very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.